Hey, eighth graders, this lesson is on similar triangles. You're going to be doing various things in this lesson. For what I focused on today was how do we find a missing angle of a triangle, and then also how do we find the missing side of similar figures when they're just differ by a scale factor. In this case, we know one thing, that triangles equal 180, and that triangles similar, all the angle measurements are the same and the shape is the same. If I add 50 and 60, I'm going to get 110. Same here. If I subtract that from 180, I will then get 70, and 70 would be the missing measurement for each. So we will be using that knowledge of 180, that all the angles equal 180, to be able to solve these. You are allowed to use calculators for this one. I am more concerned about you understanding the concept than you guys using that calculator. For this one, you're going to determine if they're similar. As you can see, they both have the same degrees. All you have to do is add them together. In this case, 89 plus 26 is going to give me 115. In your calculator, if you put 180, subtract 115, and press enter, you should get 65. Okay? This one's a little different. Notice that they both have the angle of 80, but they don't have the second one the same. Because the second one is not the same, you need to see if these are similar. If you put the 23 over here and you added them together, you would be under 180. Okay, showing you that right now. Because if they were similar, they would have to be. Of course, you can find the angles by adding them together and subtracting from 180 like I did in the previous, but this is another way to see if they're similar or not, a little bit easier. This one here, again, I see 30, I see 30. So the only thing different, if I go ahead and I put an 80 here and a 70 here, will they equal 180? Well, let's check. They will. 70 plus 80 is 150, plus 30 is 180. So these two are similar. Okay, last one here. As you see, I have two here. This is typo. And then I have one here. If I add all those together, that is going to be over 180. So I know these triangles are not similar. And I don't need more information. That's just enough right there. Okay, moving forward in page 76, and you can also click on lesson 9's video, which is Mr. Morgan showing exactly how to do this under the Elmo. But for this case, we are going to start looking at slope in lesson 10, and we are going to be dividing one side by another. And in doing so, we were able to see that our quotients are the same. And that's going to link to lesson 10, and that's going to help you out with understanding slope. But before we get further in that, I want to talk about scale factor. We've been dealing with scale factor. We've been finding scale factor. We've been multiplying. Now we're going to combine the two. We're going to combine finding it by using the new value of the shape that you have, divide by the original, and you're going to get scale factor. Remember, I told you might see it as K. If you are doing the scale factor and you already have it, you're just multiplying to get the value. Okay, give me 1 second. So we're going to go ahead and practice. In this case, like I said, we're going to use these two rules, the new divided by the original, and then we're going to multiply by the scale factor. In this case, I can see that the bottom area right here corresponds with this area. If I were to overlap them, that's where those lines would overlap. So I'm going to do the new, which is 12 divided by the original. So I'm just going to put the 4 here for this purpose. And I'm going to divide. In this case, I'm going to find out that the scale factor is 3. So to find this one, all I have to do is find the corresponding 5 corresponds with my question mark. So if I do 3 times 5, I should get my scale factor of 15. So that's how you do it. Again, all you have to do is find the scale factor and then multiply. Here's another one. We're going from small to big, so my scale factor should be larger. I do 6, and I have 36. All I have to do is pick my new. My new is the larger one. It's the second one. Divided by my original, which is 6. And I'm going to get the scale factor of 6 because 36 divided by 6 is 6. And all I have to do is look for my corresponding for the question mark. It's right here. 4 times 6 is going to give me 24. All right. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. So basically, we did a couple more practice in the class. What you could do is go back and rewind and watch how I did the new divided by the original. And you can use a calculator for this. So our learning targets for this lesson is you can find the missing side link in a pair of similar triangles using the quotients of the side link. We talked about that in the beginning on the desk practice and in the book practice, which is going to lead to slope. And then you can find 2 triangles are similar by looking at the quotients of the corresponding side lengths, and we found the missing side lengths. You can also check out lesson 9 with Mr. Morgan video, step-by-step instruction for your homework. Good luck.